for us and from our perspective, this is also the final possibility to evoke or to recall a very important issue for us. Museums take action on environmental change today. As some of you maybe remember, yesterday I mentioned that I'm a representative of Climate Collective, an informal body consisting of museum specialists, artists, activists that try together to work on a model which could be implemented in cooperation with local community. We worked with the local community of Katowice or Silesia, but we do really believe that you can find some interesting inspirations or some interesting possibilities that you can take to your local communities, to your local environments with you. Our discussions were attended by, just to mention, Patryk Białas, Katarzyna Bizacka, Ewa Chomicka, Diana Lelonek, Aleksandra Matuszczyk, Katarzyna Podyma and Piotr Skubała. And we were investigated how museums could become the agents of pro-environmental activities in their local communities and what barriers can be encountered by the people that would like to try to initiate some work for the environment. We also put forward some suggestions for the Museums for Climate manifesto that we would like to share with you today, to present it for you. And we really hope that we will have an opportunity with some of you, with people who are eco-interested or eco-related, to rewrite it and to deepen it during tomorrow's workshop. During my yesterday's speech, I focused on the theme of starting the revolution from yourself. So how we can try to develop green revolution starting within the institution. During this session, we would like to show you, to lead you through the process of our way of thinking, how we could try to work with the local community. We would like to open sack of ideas. And maybe, as I said, maybe you will find some inspirations for your actions in your local environments. Well, here you have information on Climate Collective aims. I will just read it. Creating a long-term project for climate or natural environment, highlighting the problem but also engaging the inhabitants, particularly those who so far showed no interest in this topic, changing the attitude of local communities towards actions for environment, making them relevant as something close to the individual's heart, combining the perspectives and experiences of cultural institutions, museums, artists, activists, and scientists, and activating institutions of culture, museums as agents of pro-environmental philosophy and way of working. I mentioned about barriers that probably all of us will face trying to implement this kind of initiatives. And this is mainly lack of interest, like I'm not interested in these topics, I have other things on my mind. Economic aspects, like I have no money for everyday life, so let alone ecology. Like fair, I don't know what to do about it. I don't understand these issues. Propaganda or climate change denial, that global warming is a fake, and there are always some climate changes, and it is nothing special. We will for sure face some communication problems, and the very important question arises: what kind of language do we use, and is it understandable? Isn't it too hermetic when we speak about these things? And there is another very important question: how to make these global problems, which appear alien or remote, more relevant to individual residents. And there is also a question of local heritage or local traditions. For example, we face this problem or this challenge here in Silesia region, which stands with coal. Diana Lelonek will tell something more about it in a minute. So now we would like to invite you for this journey to see how it looked during our process of thinking, what kind of model we would like to propose to implement. Diana Lelonek, which is here with us, is one of famous, or maybe even the famous Polish artists which deal with environmental issues, and is a member of Climate Collective as well. So Diana, stage is yours.
I'm not sure that I am the famous Polish artist, but thank you. Thank you. Anyway, I'm really glad to be here, and thank you, Eva, for this invitation. Eva asked me to tell you a little bit about my projects because in my artist activity, I usually deal with topics such as climate and environmental issues. So probably I'm here because of this. So I usually explore relationship between humans and other species. Through my art, I try to talk about the possible future community that could be based on empathy and interspecies coexistence, and of course, respect for nature. My projects are critical response to the processes of overproduction, unlimited growth, and our selfish approach to environment. I would like to talk really briefly about two of my last projects. So here you can see the Seabury slag heap, and this project is dedicated to the brown coal region and brown coal basin in the East Wielkopolska. It's next to the city of Konin. And this project, it's not typical gallery project because I don't use this way of do art. I think nowadays, during the climate catastrophe, do exhibition in the white cubes, it's not enough. So usually I deal with local communities and I do projects in one-to-one scale. Really often I also cooperate with activists and scientists in my projects. So here I would like to tell you something about this coal region. It's an open cast region with open cast mines. And it's really degraded because this industry, this coal industry modified the landscapes, natural lakes drying out there, the formation of slag heaps and resettlings of villages. So, and from the other hand, there is no vision of post-coal reality, and local society is divided between people who are victims of the coal industry and people who are who work for the coal company. So it's real huge conflict in this region, similar like here in Silesia. So I decided to try to look something different, something new for this region, some new symbol of this region to create some new vision for the future, let's say. And I decided to use the potential of the sea buckhorn, sea berry fruits, a plant that grows on post-mining areas. This sea berry, it's one of the few species that can grow on this devastated, dry, post-mining soil. And after exploitation of coal, the coal company recultivates the area using plants that can grow on this empty ground. And sea berry is one of these plants. It is also known as a superfood, which is a vitamin C, antioxidants, and it's really trendy eco fruit. So it's really popular, for example, in Baltic countries, and in Poland it's not really popular plant, and this is unique that this region is full of this sea berry. So it's and here you can see the sea berry Slaskie, and this is juice which I produce with local communities, with local society, and we start to think that maybe it's a better symbol for this region than coal. So our goal is to make sea berry basin, not coal basin anymore. It's a concept. It's artistic project, but from the other hand, it's a real existing local cooperative producing juices. So it's interesting, and this September we would like to organize sea backhorn days and pick up berries together. It's completely different kind of activity in opposite side to this huge industry as coal industry. So we decided to create of these local food products to make a new symbol. And okay, where can I change it? Oh, and this is the second project. This project is a long-term project. I do this project with a botanical garden in Poznań and with some scientists from the University of Adam Mickiewicz in Poznań as well. And basically the Center for Living Things, it's a concept of the institution. It's not really institution, it's a research PATA institution, let's say. And I decided to found it to popularize knowledge about new post-human nature forms. So I spent a lot of time going across Poland and look for illegal waste dumping sites. And we have a huge problem with illegal waste dumping sites in our forests. So it was easy to find it. And I found there a lot of old things which became environment or habitats for many living organisms, plants, mosses, fungi, etc. And here you can see, for example, post-shoe environment. And from the right side, it's a greenhouse in the botanical garden in Poznań. So it's interesting because let's say I hack this space. It's old greenhouse. Scientists don't need it anymore. So I decided to squat it and made there the main site of my institute. So now the official institution, Botanical Garden, has inside no official institution, the Center for Living Things. It's interesting, and I also do a lot of workshops to talk about how our overproduction change nature, change environments, and how we can talk about this new kind of relationships between things, objects, and living forms. It's something new, in my opinion. Okay, and the third thing I would like to talk. This is something completely new. It's an interspecies community, and it's not my project, it's a collective project. So we are a group of, now it's something like 15 people, and we are from the completely different backgrounds. So I am an artist, my friends as artists as well, and there is also some scientists. And we decided to create this project because we work together to create a new vision of society, equal and based on empathy to non-human beings. The main idea is to invite the new form of faith and spirituality based on love for ecosystem, nature, and other beings. We would like to, and this is the most interesting point, we would like to register our community as a religious association. Why? Because in Poland, churches have many privileges. Especially Catholic Church has a lot of privilege here. So we decided to register it, and the idea is to use and hack the law dedicated for religion associations to help ecosystems which are in danger by investigation and exploitation. And we have some ideas how to do it, how to deal with it. And this is our sign. It's like crossed hoofs. Okay, so it's about my activity. And now I would like to move on to a brief description of results the Climate Collective meeting. So, as we can see here, this is our model of work. And we discussed, give me a few minutes to also talk a little bit about Silesia region, because our research was dedicated exactly to this context, to this local context. But maybe it can be helpful also for you. So in Silesia region, the most important challenge is the energy transformation, which is a big challenge because 80% of energy produced in Poland comes from coal. And the Silesia region was created and developed because of coal mining. The whole tradition of this region is built around coal, mines, and ethos of miners. So this is really problematic to talk about end of coal if everybody here has someone in family who is engaged to this coal industry. Silesia is also one of the worst polluted regions in Poland. Smoke is a serious problem here. But from the other hand, a large part of this city is full of green areas, which might seem unique in such an industrial region. So, during our meeting of the Climate Collective in Silesia Museum here, we decided to focus mainly on how we can communicate the need for a just transition for the Silesia region. And we try to think how we can deal with the problem of transformation, and we decided to address two areas. So the first, it's a link to the tradition of the region and use this tradition to talk about the future. And the second is focus on nature. We want to use these two issues in relation to thinking about future, I said it before. In this local context, it is difficult. So we decided to use a positive message, not talking about, okay, this is the end of the world, but talking about, okay, now this is the moment to create something new, to new future for this region, to new solutions for it. So working on these topics. And of course, this narration should to be proposed as a long-term projects. And we also think about that it's not enough to invite people to the museum. And if we would like to work with local communities and local locals, people, we need to go outside as well. And of course, invite people to cooperation, so to make it as collective works. So the first area, it's supporting the local community. Here we thought about how to involve and communicate the local community the need for energy transformation, but also education on climate change, ecology, and changing our habits. We would also like to invite the audience to join discussion on the climate and future of the region. That is why we propose to organize public panels and community consultation. The main idea is the museum should not only invite others to the museum, but also organize events outside. It is about going out into the community, organize action, workshops, discussion, and exhibition directly on the housing estates. During our brainstorming appeared some concrete ideas. These include traveling exhibition, an exhibition that would have a mobile form, a museum as an eco-vehicle, and come in and experience pop-up exhibition. This mobile exhibition could include both exhibition and actions, such as, for example, film screenings or debates. It could take the form of a mini festival or family picnic or a pop-up 1 day or 2 days museum. We decided to use a positive narration, talking about solution, green energy, existing technologies, and emission-free solutions. Another idea was to organize, and this is, I think, very interesting, the Saint Barbara Day celebration, because the Saint Barbara is a patron of the miners, and this day is very, very important for the locals. This occasion could be a good opportunity to talk about both the Silesian tradition and the need for a fair energy transformation. So we'd like to use this day as a day for the climate. We would like to combine these narratives in order to show that we can think about the end of coal without rejecting the local mining traditions. From the other hand, Saint Barbara is a patron of the dying. This connection could be adapted to build narration about, for example, 6 mass extinction of the species, which is effect of climate change. We also would like to popularize knowledge about influence of climate change to our cities and about this end of coal it's necessary. We also think how we can put together this miners' celebration with the climate march as in one action. Of course, it can sound some tricky, because usually climate movement and miners are placed on the opposite sides. But we believe by using the positive narration, we can try to join our goals. Indeed, the just transition concept is created to protect miners and their future. So this is briefly what we would like to do with this first area. And the second is museum supports the local ecosystems. So what does mean? I will tell you. It is important to start about the post-industrial nature of Silesia as something important and unique. This nature is formed in areas degraded and transformed by industry. In our region, nature has been through a lot. However, the processes of natural succession in post-industrial wastelands and barren areas have created very interesting ecosystems. And we think that it's important to talk about this post-industrial ecosystem as something important. We think that as many of these areas as possible need to be back to nature and be left to overgrow freely. we are following the examples of the ideas thrown by, for example, the Rewilding Europe organization. We would like to make Silesia a wider place. Recently, for example, in London, London has declared the whole city will become a national park, and we think it's really George's idea. So one of our propositions is to turn Silesia region into the national park as well. This means the priority is to restore green areas to the city. We want to spread the idea of returning land that has been exploited and destroyed for decades and back it to nature. So this is important, and we also would like to promote this post-industrial nature. For example, the idea is to create something like Hauda travel. It means slack hip travel, and this could be walks with botanics, bird watching, and picnics in the post-industrial areas. We also thinking about publish a guidebook, Silesian Nature, describing both natural ecosystem and post-human nature reborn in degraded places. So, okay, I think it's briefly all.
Okay, I'm really sorry, but we need to head to the end. 5 more minutes? Okay, 5 more minutes.
It's all,
Yeah.
I think.
Sorry.
So you can finish. You can add something.
I will not add anything because we have no time, but we have one very important thing for the end. We would like to share with you Museums for Climate manifesto that we would like to send to maybe all museums around the world, maybe, if it's possible, or at least to try to implement these slogans and to make them alive in our museums, in our local environments. And my idea was to read it together with you, but since we have no time, I will read it alone. Hopefully, you will find these slogans interesting and possible to implement in your places. Museum, take responsibility for your immediate environment and for the global climate. Museum, you have an opportunity to shape people's attitudes. Do that for the environment. Museum, become an agent and an ambassador of pro-environmental solutions and habits. Museum, produce exhibitions and events without the unnecessary overproduction. Museum, reduce use of resources, water, energy, paper. Museum, reduce plastic. Museum, promote energy-saving exhibitions and events. Museum, consider renewable energy. Museum, reduce the carbon footprint of events produced by you. Museum, acquaint every employee with his or her carbon footprint. Museum, shape the daily habits of your employees. Museum, support employees who use public transport. Museum, promote a vegetarian-vegan menu. Museum, recycle the existing resources into new ones. Museum, promote exchange of equipment among museums. Museum, promote ecology as a trend worth following. Museum, support the local community in pro-environmental education. Museum, develop pro-environmental initiatives in cooperation with the local communities and other organizations. Museum, support the local ecosystem. Museum, more imagination for climate. Museum, more creativity, less used up papers. Museum, less grayness, more greenness. Oh, sorry. Well, there were two important slides at the end. Museum, join with the other, the Green Revolution. And Museum, the Green Revolution starts right now. Wish you all the best with your revolutions in your institutions. Hope to meet tomorrow during the all-day workshop with people interested in eco issues. Thank you very much for your attention and have a nice evening. Oh, sorry. Attention and have a nice evening.